Alright, Gigan, you ready for your photo gallery?
Why, yes, Steve. I'm ready for my close-up.
Alright, cool. We're just gonna get this Godzilla figure and...
Wait, you're not serious, right?
Well, yeah, it's a Final Wars Godzilla, and he's kind of the only one I got currently. In the scale anyways. I mean, just look at him. Who wouldn't want to battle this?
Buddy, he looks like Godzilla if a 5-year-old sculpted that face. And that 5-year-old wasn't very artistically talented.
Hey, well now, sometimes you just gotta forgive the... Yeah, I don't know what the hell Playmas is taking. We just gotta do photos. We need a photo gallery.
I'll skip this one out. Just let me know when that MonsterArts one comes in. We'll try again then.
Well... I guess while you're here, we could maybe work something out with... Yeah, screw it. On to the review. Listen up, Rangers! Welcome to the Geek Chest. My name's Steve.
I'm Jessica.
That was a delay.
Sorry.
She's like, wait, I'm supposed to be a part of this video? We just did the Dimetrodon. I'm out of here. Actually, that might be after this video? Maybe. This might be a special video for... I don't know when I'm doing this video. Anyways, today we got the MonsterArts Gigan. The 2004 Great Decisive Battle version. This guy just recently came out. We did a live stream unboxing because it's a MonsterArts, so it's almost kind of obligated at this point. And the main reason I picked this up is because it has accessories. Well, sorry, more accessories than the original one had, because you get the kind of spin around to the back, you get the beam, which I thought was cool, and then you get the wires. So when the 2004 Godzilla eventually comes out, you'll be able to kind of have them tangling, which is what I'm thinking about doing. Although I might try to make I really want to try to make a 3D damaged head. I think would be sweet. It's between that or making my own and then making molds. Which would probably be the easier thing to do, to be honest, because trying to sculpt on Blender isn't quite that fun for me. I could do beams. But any amount of actual detailing, not quite as easy. But anyways, we're just going to get into this. Were you excited about this figure, dear? What? But now we can have one more chainsaw hands and regular hands. Because why would I need... It's got so many accessories, you gotta have them all out. So why not have two?
He's a freaking tortured soul / punching bag.
Yeah, he doesn't do much of the movies, to be honest. He kind of just gets his head blown off.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Multiple times. But anyways, without further ado, for its packaging, you get a nice image of Gigan shooting his little things. The one thing that looks weird for me is initially it looked like to me that it was shooting 3 of them out, but that's just his hook hand. I don't know why I ever thought it was anything otherwise.
I don't know.
Odd. But we got the Tamashi sticker here, so we know that it's official. Side of the package, not a whole heck of a lot, but just his name. Opposite side, you get him crossing his arms. Top, more Gigan's back of the package just shows him doing stuff, has his accessories, and some legal mumbo jumbo on the bottom. But anyways, let's get him opened up out of his cardboard prison. Alright, so now we got him opened up out of his cardboard prison. First and foremost, Jessica, which one's the new one?
One on the left.
This one, you say?
Left.
This is right. So you mean this one's the new one?
Yes.
Why do you say he's the new one?
Why do you make me do this?
What makes him seem so different? I ask. You're not wrong, but this one's actually is the new one. But do you know why? There's one key difference between the two.
The original one looks like kind of like he has freaking... Oh, what is it? Very pearlized armor.
To be honest, the way the color is the same to me. The thing with the original is it's more glossy. Yeah. He's more shiny with the way everything kind of hits. Like he has a bit more of a gloss finish to him. While the new one, you can especially tell with the leg here, this is definitely more of a matte finish. And then the metallic on the underneath shows through. Well, this one looks like he just came out of a river. Is the big difference. Other than that, I would say the silver on here is a little bit more prominent. Like he's got a little bit more of that bronze on the original kind of showing through on sections. Like especially you can see here on the horns and around the mouth. There's a little bit more coloring going on with the original release than on the newer one. They definitely kind of skimped out on the extra paint job for some sections. But other than that, I almost prefer the matte finish of this guy. I think overall coloring, I think they did a little bit better job on the first release. But it's very minute to where I still think I would kind of still prefer just to have this guy. Like, I'm not really missing out too much on the paint job between the two. It's almost... Violante was a little bit worse because, like, it was similar, but one's more brown, one's more green. Like, this is more or less the way they finished it is the only key difference between the two. Which works for me because, again, like, they're supposed to be more like two different Gigans, like two different stages of Gigan, more so than just being a reissue. Even though this guy comes with all the stuff that he had, plus and then some. So it's like a reissue, but just better. So I don't understand. But anyways, first and foremost, for the accessories, we're going to kind of glance over this stuff, but he does come with, again, all the same stuff the original Gigan came with. So you do get the chainsaw blades, which actually move. So if you grab it, even though it's made out of soft rubber, so you can rip this, so do be careful. But you can spin it. No gimmick, though, to do the spinning, which would have been kind of cool. You get the neck piece for the brace for when they repaired his head after Godzilla blew it off. And then you get the top section here for the more serrated tip for the top, and also the sides. I will swap them out and show you guys both. But because we've already done a review of Gigan previously on Super, that I feel like most of you guys have already kind of seen that. And if you're new, we'll still put them together, but I'm not going to spend too much time. Like, the stuff just, it looks good. But for the actual new stuff, you get this, which is his laser pew-pews out of his eyeballs. So what this is, oh man, I'm scared to get this back out. Come on. Just do it. Don't let your dreams be dreams. Oh, okay, there's a ball joint. That goes into the beam there. So you can angle it whichever. Has this rod and a base. Wherever the base may have went. I thought it was on the table. I guess I am currently wrong. I found it. Somehow it fell on the floor. But what you do is you take this, you stick it into the stand. Maybe. There we go. Set that upright like that. You get the ball joint into here, which is a little terrifying. It is a fairly tight fit, but once you get it on, it gives you a lot of play with it, range of motion, depending on what you want to do. Then you just line it up to his eyeballs. And now he's shooting a shotgun laser beam, which looks sweet. I like that it gives him kind of like this, like, Cyclops visor look to him on the top here. It's kind of hard to show with the way the stand is, but it does sit pretty nice. Not the flushest, but it's still very serviceable. And then you even get a little bit of a pink airbrushing on the inside. And then just the tips of the beams have these like little blooms. And overall, really cool looking little effect. And then he comes with these. Crap ton of wires. 4 of them to be exact. And what these are is for the beginning fight with Gigan and Godzilla. He shoots out these wires and tries to like bring him in to finish him off before he gets his head blown off. And what's cool about that, oh yeah, I was gonna say, we talked about this in the video. I'm kind of wondering, I don't think that comes off here. Because how you pop them off is these get removed out. But that looks like it's pretty well in there on the original release, because you can even see the way the paint overlays on the top. I don't think... Nope, these are not meant to come out. While on the new one, on the other hand, just what you want to do is you kind of pinch your fingers around the section here, and then you just apply some pressure. It takes a little bit. One thing to be concerned about is there's a longer peg towards the front. It is a bit thicker, showing you guys on the actual wire here. And then there's a small one. And then it's kind of hard to grab the front part here because of the pointy bit on the undersection of the scythe. But you just keep kind of pinching it and wiggling it. Please don't apply pressure to this thing because that will snap off. Also, this guy's arm's really loose, so I'm just going to pop it off just to show you guys a little easier. The back section here comes off real easy. It's just this part here is a bit of a pain. But get it off. Also, don't wiggle. Wiggle is probably a bad thing because it's a square peg that goes in a square hole. So there we go. So then you get this little gap section here. Do the same for the other side to give you guys the full effect. Also, I will say, this is the first time I've done both of these hands. This side is super freaking stiff. You can do it. I believe in you. I almost wish that you just your arm was loose too. It could just pop you off. It was so much easier. Oh, there we go. All right. Put that back in. All right. So then you take, it's almost popping up. It's a little bit more finicky with the articulation than I remember. And then, to me, it doesn't look like there's really like a rhyme or reason for which one goes into which, so you just kind of just pick one and go. Oh, there is a bit of a bend. Okay, so you kind of want the downward angle matching the direction that you're going into. So like this one's for this side, and that just pops in. This one is for the opposite side, so that's cool. 2 down, 2 to go.
Couldn't you just put one?
Gotta show the full effect here, otherwise it's not a proper review. I feel like I'm cheaping you guys out if I don't go all the way. Which, I'm already gonna say, I wish this guy came with a stand for these things. Alright, so now that we have all these on, we have Spider-Man Gigan with a bunch of extremely long wires, which is great because what you're supposed to do is kind of like have these wrapping around Godzilla, and then you're like dragging them in slowly. And what's neat too is these little metal pieces here actually slide. So you can slide them up and down to get them in the right like positioning, which can also help with the bending too, which is nice. And then you can sort of use these to help straighten out eventually too. Which, after the first time I play with it, it's never going to be fully straight again, but it's a thing that at least it's trying to attempt to fix. But you do get the little hooky bits at the end, which are just little blades, so I don't know how well this thing hooks, but it kind of like sticks into Godzilla and then wraps around. But it's a lot of wire. But I will say, it does hook in there really nice. Although I just popped one out, so that makes me a little sad.
Oh my God.
So maybe don't do that. It is a wire, so glue doesn't really stick to these things very well, so this doesn't surprise me. So I'm not upset about it. Because that should just go right back in the hole. Alright, see, got it back in. Just have to glue that back eventually. So overall, pretty neat. I'm going to save using these for when the 2004 Godzilla actually comes out, because I'm probably going to actually display him with those on to begin with. So, and I got to store these until then. So while being cool, unless you have the Godzilla, it's not really necessary. And then it would have been kind of cool to maybe have some kind of stand that you could have affixed with these things in order to keep it kind of upright. If you wanted to have it more looking like it's shooting towards Godzilla instead of it just being kind of on the table. But anyways, let's go over his closer details, and then we'll swap out the parts for the other version of Gigan. And then for a closer look at Gigan's detail, overall, if you got in the original release, it looks pretty much the same, but we'll glance over a lot of this stuff. Also, my wife's not here anymore, so I also want to bring that up too. She's currently at work, and we got to finish the video. So, for Gigan's head, for the metal plating, you get some detailing on the blade to make it look a lot more weathered, which I really like. It also kind of gives it more of like an organic feel in the top little like blade horn. The rest of the blades, though, are fairly standard with sharp edges. They're also fairly pointy, so do be careful, and also very fragile because they're not super thick, so there's something to be concerned. You know, like, initial review for this guy, he was great, but just a very fragile figure. Like, it doesn't take much to break this guy. This one, pretty much the same gist. Although I will say I have less loose issues on certain parts, and then I have more loose part issues on other parts. For instance, you guys saw the arm here is very loose, but for the most part, everything else is not too shabby. But for the rest of the head, the eyes are translucent with a little bit of that like bug detailing on the inside with the dots, which looks good. His teeth are done in a white color with some really dark reds for the tongue area. It's even some detailing on the roof of the mouth, but it's mostly looks like the same kind of white as the teeth, which is a little odd. But the skin coloring is done in a pearl blue with some blacks for the under detailing. Same with on the neck here. It's got a lot of very xenomorph-esque qualities with the tubes and the more line, like membrane patterning for the skin. With the spiky bits on the front of the stomach, you got spiky bits on the shoulders, you got spiky bits everywhere. With some more metal plating. For the most part, like we mentioned with the other Gigan, the finish has a bit of a shine, but it's definitely a more matte finish than what we got with the more glossy on the original release. Also, this sticks in a lot more than mine did. Mine just stuck out a lot, which a lot of this is because of the deets articulating. Because this should pop out, yeah. And then that can help you with the stomach mobility, and then you just kind of push it back. But for the wings, have the red and blacks. Well, I will say not quite the cleanest with the black paint job, because you can see mine here has a little bit of a line going through the top and some of the sections there, but it's not super distracting, but it's a thing that's there. Because you even got a little bit of black there. So, not the cleanest, but still works pretty well. And then this is also articulated, and then you got some little metal dots here for the little boxes, which also have a lot of the red on them too, which that could have maybe been a little bit better. The wings, to be honest, not the cleanest. Original release one, I will say, is definitely much better. It still has some of them, but you can even see on the between the two, this one actually has some airbrushing on the wing, while this one doesn't. And like we mentioned, like this one has a little bit more like attention to the detail than on the newer one, but not like nothing too drastic in comparison. Then you get the claws here, which look really nice. You got some little rivets here on the certain, but the claws do look nice, where you get some silvers with a little bit of kind of gunmetal, almost a bronze kind of look to it, with some rivets here in sections. You got the two little under spikes. You got spiky knee pads, spiky feet, which are just silver with a little bit of airbrushing at the base of the claw there. And then moving down his tail, you get his little more drill bit flower looking thing on the end, which looks really good. And overall, superly solid detail. Like, easily one of the coolest Gigan figures in terms of just sculpting, and surprisingly a very posable figure too as well, because for the head sculpt, because for the articulation, head can look up about that far, down about that far. You get nice side to side, really nice rotation. Mouth can open and close. Arms can go up about that far, back about that far. Then you can go up and down with the shoulder. Also get a nice rotation. It's got double jointed elbows, so you get a nice bend there. Claws can rotate all the way around, are also on the ball joint, so nice wiggle there. The chest region, a little bit side to side, a little bit of forward and back, nothing too crazy. Again, if you pop that out, you can get a little bit more forward, but nothing too crazy. Legs can go outwards about that far, inwards about that far. Really nice forward kick. Decent back kick as well. And then you can rotate the top of the thigh. It's got double jointed. Again, gotta worry about all these little protrusions as you're articulating them. But he does have double jointed knees, but only goes about that far back because of the sculpt for the little spike back here. It's also got a little bit of rotation at the middle section of the leg, like right under the calf. The feet can go forward and back, side to side, tail. Nice range of motion there as well. And it's overall super articulated, kind of what you expect out of your MonsterArts figure. And then real quick, if you guys want to see how to get the accessories on, first and foremost, you're going to need to get the claws off. So you grab at the base of the forearm, pull them out. You're also going to want to remove the neck section and the head. First and foremost, I like taking out the little claws on the side of the head. And then you take the top one out as well. Then you just grab right at the back where the little claws were inserted. Grab base of the head. Pull that out. This part here, though, is not connected to anything, so do be careful with that, especially if you're holding onto it. You want to set that aside. And then you grab right around the base here and apply pressure upwards to get that off. So ideally you don't remove the shoulder plate, but again, mine's super duper loosey, so that's just the thing that's gonna happen there. And I think that's it there. So next you take your brace neck and you just insert that in to the ball joint. Not the easiest thing to do. I think I got that. There we go. So that's in. You take your head, pop that back on, and then you want to use the new pieces with the more serrated edges. Oh, I think that's the other side. Because there's one on here that's like super loose on one side and one that's not. You just insert them into the side of the head. Oh, wherever the lacerated bit would do. I don't see it on the table anymore. Not sure how it ended all the way back to by the TV over there. Pretty sure I blame my cat for that one. Man, I forgot how huge that is. His gigantic little mohawk. And then, for the most part, these are interchangeable between the two. There isn't really much difference between either of them. So you just pop that into the ball joint. Bam! Got our chainsaw Gigan with the damaged brace neck from when it got originally exploded. Which the articulation on the neck isn't nearly as good anymore because it's not as many sections, but you still get quite a bit of play with it though. Still. And then these are pretty much the exact same. Detailing still looks nice. You got the airbrushing on the saw blades to give it a nice weathered look. Got the white here for the chain blades, and same with the neck brace here too. It's got some more airbrushing for some of that more bronze-esque color on it. And overall, some really nice accessories. It's kind of something you would expect out of your Gigan, but for the most part, I would have thought initially that when they made this guy that this would have been a separate version. Like, for instance, the first Gigan should have came with the hooky beams, or the things that shoot out of his claws. And this one should have been the chainsaw version. And I could have seen them doing that, to be honest, because I think that would have helped to not invalidate the first release like this one is currently. But guess that's living in the past. Here's a quick comparison. Here we have the Final Wars Gigan compared next to some other SH MonsterArts Godzilla figures with the 2002 Godzilla and 2000 Godzilla. And here's next to some other Final Wars Gigan figures with the Bandai vinyl and the large 12-inch Bandai Creations. And here is next to some other branded Godzilla figures you could try to have them fight. With the Playmates Final Wars Godzilla, still probably one of my least favorite figures I own. And the NECA 2003 Godzilla. And here's some other figures that came in recently with the Bandai Movie Monster Series Jet Jaguar and the Power Rangers Lightning Collection In Space Blue Ranger. And because Halo Infinite came out recently, and you guys should go buy the game, it's awesome. Here he is next to some Jazzware Spartan Collection figures from the Halo line, with the Noble 6 figure here and the Master Chief. So, overall for the SH MonsterArts Gigan, you may be asking yourself, Steve, where are all the photos at the end of this video? And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm going to wait till the Final Wars Godzilla comes out. And a lot of that's just because there's not really a good Godzilla to go along with this guy, and I could do the photos, but it'd be a little weird. And we already did the Gigan photos to begin with, and it'd pretty much be the exact same. But I don't want to reuse those. So I'm just going to wait till he comes out, and we're just going to have super fun once the Final Wars Godzilla comes out. And do all my photos and stuff then, because I really don't want to mess up. Be honest, I just don't want to mess up the wires until that guy comes in. So, anyways, if you guys haven't picked this guy up, do it. If you guys are into the MonsterArts line, you like Final Wars, you like Gigan, this is easily still one of the coolest MonsterArts figures they've ever put out. And also probably, I want to say it's probably the most posable, to be honest. Like, even compared to the Godzillas and stuff, like, he can pretty much move any way you want. Colors-wise, he's not quite as good as the original release, but I think the extra accessories more than make up for it. And for the price point, he's still a pretty solid buy. Not amazing, but pretty solid. But what do you guys think? If you guys picked up this figure, what's your favorite SH MonsterArts figure? And is Megalon more your thing? Please let us know in the comments. We also got an Instagram, Patreon, Pinterest, and Facebook. Guys, will keep up to date with channel. Donate. Greatly appreciate it. And also got an Etsy shop with some beams still available. And see you guys in the next video. Well, actually, we got to hit those Kaijus, right? Subscribe, become a Ranger today. Then see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.